Welcome to the North State Breakdown with Benjamin Nguyen. Today, we're previewing the Shasta County Board of Supervisors meeting scheduled for February 4th, 2025, held at 1450 Court Street. The most notable item on the agenda is the inclusion of a presentation from former failed CEO hire Chris Street. We'll get to that and more. R1. First up, the board will recognize Josh Fugit, Permit Center Manager of the Department of Resource Management, as Shasta County's Employee of the Month for February 2025. While this recognition highlights his contributions, it's important to note a potential conflict of interest from last year. Josh Fugit's wife, Monica Fugit, serves as the Personnel Director for Shasta County and was part of the panel that approved Sean Ewing to the Director position at Resource Management, effectively positioning her to influence her husband's professional environment. This was discussed in a previous breakdown, Fast Fact Edition. R2. The County Executive Officer will provide updates on county issues, and supervisors will discuss countywide matters. This is a routine item without a formal vote, but often provides insights into the board's current focus. R3. Sponsored by Supervisor Cry, the board will consider sending letters to President Trump and Governor Newsom addressing the escalating insurance crisis related to wildfires in California. The insurance crisis has been exacerbated by increasing frequency and intensity of wildfires, which have caused significant property damage and loss of life. Shasta County has faced devastating wildfires in recent years, including the Carr Fire in 2018, which destroyed over 1,600 structures and claimed 8 lives, and the Zog Fire in 2020, which resulted in 4 fatalities and extensive damage. Additionally, the Fawn Fire in 2021 highlighted ongoing vulnerabilities in wildfire management. More recently, the catastrophic fires in Los Angeles have showed the statewide nature of this crisis, emphasizing the urgent need for comprehensive insurance reform and wildfire mitigation strategies. While the letters aim to seek support and solutions from the state and federal leaders, the effectiveness of such correspondence in driving policy changes remains uncertain. R4. The board will receive a presentation on healthcare in Shasta County and may authorize a contract with a consultant. This item is controversial as it involves Chris Street, who has a history of legal disputes and a failed background check when previously considered for a county executive officer role. Street was the former Orange County Treasurer Tax Collector and was ordered to pay over $7 million in damages for mismanaging a bankruptcy trust. While he later won a $10 million malpractice lawsuit against his former attorney, alleging poor representation in that very case, it is concerning that the county would engage in business with someone so litigious. Street's propensity for legal battles, combined with his history of financial mismanagement, suggests he may be a significant liability for the county. Moreover, he made unsubstantiated allegations about illegal financial activities within Shasta County, which were publicly refuted by County Auditor Controller Nolda Short.
I discovered that the county of Shasta, which is supposed to have a reserve of 17 to 25%, 25% target, 17% minimum, actually had a reserve of around 13.5%. So basically that was, $25 million short. And through the process of calling the auditor controller, Nolda Short, a very honest person and very straightforward person, she confirmed that my analysis that this was below the minimum, matter of fact, and she then said, we also had a loan on July 22nd for $10 million, and I was absolutely stunned. Because the way it works in California under California Government Code 29086, it is illegal to reduce reserves after the budget is set.
In response to Street's claims, Short stated,
"This is our general reserve, so this is the hot topic item lately. Right now it sits at $19 million because of the $10 million that we moved over. That $10 million is not a loan because there is no requirement to repay it. So we've moved it over to accumulated capital outlay. But accumulated capital outlay is not required to repay that money. Our policy, we do have accounting policy, and I'm going to go into the general reserve policy, does state that if we take money out of that fund at budget time, and we did do it during the budget process, so as far as I'm concerned, that was legal because we did it during the budget process, that we will return it in the same amount of time.
He is also a prominent figure in the New California movement, which seeks to divide California and form a new state with several of its counties. This affiliation raises further concerns about his alignment with the values and stability needed for local governance. The presentation included with the agenda packet features a slide copied directly from the Community Health Assessment, and all data presented originates from publicly available state health and human services data. There does not appear to be any significant analysis or original insights provided by Street. This raises the question, why would the county consider paying an outside contractor $40,000 for information that is already publicly accessible? For those interested, an upcoming breakdown will feature an in-depth look at Chris Street and the New California movement and what they hope to accomplish. Next is the public comment period. This remains the most powerful opportunity for community members to address the board and any issue within its jurisdiction. Public comment provides a platform for residents to voice their concerns, offer suggestions, or raise awareness about local issues that may not be on the agenda. Despite its importance, for the past 2 years, public comment has been relegated to later in the meetings, potentially discouraging participation for those with time constraints. Chair cries also limited comments to 2 minutes or less, depending on the number of cards entered. Despite this, engaged civic participation is vital, as it holds elected officials accountable and ensures diverse community voices are heard. Up next is the consent calendar. The consent calendar is a list of what is supposedly non-controversial items to be voted on in one motion. Routine items this meeting include appointments, budget amendments, and agreements related to fire services, mental health, and infrastructure projects. Notably, C4, an agreement with AP Triton for developing a county fire master plan. C6, renewal agreement with Hill Country Community Clinic for mental health services. C9, budget amendments for the alternative custody metal sliding replacement project, increasing appropriations by $45,000. Next up is closed session. Closed session items are discussed behind closed doors without public input. The board will recess into a closed session to discuss 2 significant matters. R5, conference with labor negotiators. This will focus on negotiations with the Deputy Sheriff's Association, Correctional Officer Deputy Sheriffs, and the United Public Employees of California Local 792 General Unit. Discussions like these typically cover employee contracts, wages, benefits, and working conditions, which can significantly impact county budgets and employee relations. R6, conference with legal counsel regarding anticipated litigation, specifically the initiation of one potential case. While the specifics remain confidential, this item suggests the county is preparing to engage in new legal action, which could involve disputes over contracts, compliance with regulations, or other legal challenges that carry financial and reputational risks for the county. This could include anything from violations of the Brown Act to alleged impropriety in the workplace, potential wrongful termination cases, or any matter the county believes could expose it to legal liability. While the details of closed session are confidential to protect legal strategies and sensitive personnel matters, the sessions often include significant decisions that can have long-term impacts on county operations and governance. The lack of transparency in these sessions makes it critical for the public to demand accountability and follow up on any reportable actions disclosed afterwards. Next, the board will then briefly convene as the Shasta County Water Agency before adjourning back to the Board of Supervisors meeting. And that should conclude the board meeting for February 4th, 2025. Staying informed and engaged with these meetings is essential for assuring accountability and responsive governance. Active civic participation not only shapes local policies, but also strengthens our community's democratic foundations. The actions taken in these meetings directly affect our daily lives, and your involvement ensures that local government remains transparent, responsive, and accountable. Whether you speak in person, watch online, or email the board at shastacountybos@shastacounty.gov, you can make yourself heard. And that's the agenda preview.